StealthNet creates an impenetrable barrier to birds. When installed correctly, it is barely visible and will provide many years of protection. StealthNet can protect a wide variety of building configurations, like loading docks and other open beam ceilings, stairwells, ventilation openings, airplane hangars, courtyards, parking structures, architectural entryways, industrial complexes, elevator shafts, complex architectural features, large tanks, historic buildings, undersides of bridges, entire rooftops, and other challenging configurations. And when infinite roosts exist on ornate buildings, the entire facade can be netted. StealthNet is ultraviolet stabilized polyethylene twine, twisted and knotted to form a long-lasting, strong but discreet barrier. The netting is heat tensioned to lock the knots in place. It is made with a combination of sophisticated machines and skilled handwork. The netting is resistant to sun, wind, chemicals, and moisture. It will not rot or grow mold and does not conduct electricity. It is available in black, beige, which we call stone, and white. Various mesh sizes are available for different sized birds. The 2-inch mesh is effective against pigeons and larger birds. The 1 1/8 inch netting is used for starlings and grackles, and the 3/4 inch net effectively blocks out all bird species. Black is the most commonly installed net color. That's because it is the hardest to see in most applications and withstands ultraviolet rays the best. Notice how much less visible the black netting is compared to the stone netting under bright light conditions. Even up against light backgrounds, the black may be the best color. StealthNet is available in 7 standard sizes and any custom dimension to match the job. Custom cut nets generally ship in 2 to 3 days and cost slightly more per square foot than the standard size nets. The nets are delivered in bundles, not long rolls. This is a 25 by 25 foot 2-inch net. It weighs less than 3 pounds. And this is a 50 by 100 foot 3/4 inch heavy duty net. It weighs 66 pounds. All corners are marked with a piece of colored twine. A tag is attached to one corner of the net. It tells you the length, width, color, and mesh size. Here, a team is unbundling a 25 by 25 foot net, finding the corners, and opening it up to its full size. StealthNet is attached to a cable system that is secured to the building. Special hardware is used to attach the cable to the structure and is available for all substrates. There are 7 elements to every StealthNet installation. Corner attachments are the most important part of the system. They are where the cable starts, finishes, or turns corners. They need to be very strong. Intermediate attachments are placed every 2 to 3 feet and keep the cable close to the wall. Any gaps between the cable and the wall can allow birds to re-enter. Cable creates the framework around the net system. The netting is attached directly to the cable using net rings. Ferrules are sleeves that are crimped onto the cable to make a loop. A loop is required at both ends of every cable. Turnbuckles tighten the cable. The netting is the material that blocks the birds from the area. Only 2 of the parts attach directly to the structure, the corner attachments and the intermediate attachments. We will now describe the different ways to secure corner and intermediate attachments to different building substrates. Warning: please wear eye protection when using the power tools that will be demonstrated here. The screw eye is a commonly used fastener and is available in galvanized or stainless steel. Simply drill a small pilot hole and drive it in. The screw eye driver makes it easy to install and is especially handy in tight corners. A cable or turnbuckle can easily be attached to this fastener. There are two intermediate attachments for wood: the small screw eye and the stainless steel lag screw. The screw eye is driven in with the same screw eye driver as shown earlier, and the lag screw is driven in with the lag screw driver. The lag screw has a far smaller head and can be driven in without a pilot hole. Be sure the openings in all intermediate attachments are oriented in a straight line so the cable can easily slide through each fastener. Another tip for intermediate attachments: they should be in a perfectly straight line so the net lies flat and tight. Use a chalk line or a straight feature of the building when installing the fasteners. Intermediate attachments should be placed every 2 feet for 3/4 inch netting and every 3 feet for 2-inch netting. There is one basic fastener, the net bolt, that is used for corners in concrete. This is available in both galvanized and stainless steel, and different sizes depending upon the size of the project. Net bolts are expanding sleeves that lock firmly into place. As the bolt is turned, a shim is pulled up inside the sleeve and forces the metal outwards. To secure these, a precise size hole must first be drilled. Drill bit sizes are outlined in the catalog for each part, and the drill bits are also available in the catalog. A hammer drill that uses SDS drill bits is recommended. Simply drill a hole deep enough for the net bolt and insert the fastener. Turn it a few turns and it will start to tighten up. Use a screwdriver to lock it in place. Like the screw eye, a turnbuckle or cable loop can easily be secured to the eye. There are 3 intermediate attachments available for concrete or stone: the net spike, the split pin and anchor rivet combination, and the hilty loop fastener. The net spike has a discrete head and a bent shaft. It is hammered into a 4.8 mm hole. Due to its small head, it is a very discreet fastener. The split pin and anchor rivet is a 2-part system. The nylon anchor rivet is inserted into a 6.5 mm hole, then the split pin is hammered into the sleeve. This system is also very discreet. The hilty loop is easily hammered into an 8 mm hole. It is unique in that it offers an open loop and a closed loop option. With the open loop version, the cable can be released, then reattached. This fastener is more visible than the other 2. The net spike is the strongest of the 3 fasteners. Steel is the hardest material to fasten to, but there are 3 fasteners to get the job done. The heavy-duty steel clamp is fast and easy to install. Clamp it onto the edge of the beam, tensioning the nut with a wrench for maximum strength. Then, simply loop the cable through it. For turnbuckles, you may need to make a small cable loop first to hook the cable to. The eye bolt with nut is a simple and inexpensive way to secure the cable. First drill a hole, then insert the part and tighten the nut. It's easy, but would be time-consuming if the project required too many holes. The multi-purpose fastener with a hilty pin is the fastest and most discreet corner attachment available. Fire the pin into the steel with a hilty powder actuated gun and the job is done. The cable or turnbuckle loops through the hole. For more information on the hilty gun, please contact Hilti directly. There are two systems available. The multi-purpose fastener that was just demonstrated can be attached every 2 to 3 feet as an intermediate attachment. Girder clips are galvanized and are available in 4 sizes depending upon the thickness of the steel. The clip is hammered onto the leading edge of the beam, and then the cable is slid behind the part. Rarely is the hole in the tab actually used for a net project. The catalog describes which clip is best suited for each beam size. Sheet metal is not an ideal substrate for corner attachments due to the fact that it is generally not very strong. If access behind is available, the eye bolt with nut should be used. Simply drill a hole through the sheet metal, insert the part, and tighten the net on the underside of the metal. A turnbuckle easily hooks to the part. The second option is the multi-purpose cable bracket. Run a self-tapping sheet metal screw through the hole. Go slowly so you don't strip out the metal. The cable should only pull in the direction across the screw head, otherwise it could rip the attachment out. In corners, it is recommended that 2 fasteners are used, one facing in each direction. Like steel, the multi-purpose bracket is ideal for corners and intermediate attachments. Just screw it down as you would a corner attachment. And here is why the part is called the multi-purpose attachment. It can also act as a hook for removable netting systems. Make sure the tension of the finished net job pulls the cable into the hook. For small jobs, the net loop can be utilized. This small loop screws down to the surface with a self-tapping screw. Then the cable runs through it. Again, the tension should pull across the screw. Please call our technical support experts if you come across other substrates. We have just demonstrated the corner and intermediate attachments for all 4 substrates. Now we will complete our net frame by installing the cable and netting. Start by sliding 2 ferrules onto the cable. Loop the cable through the corner attachment and then back through the ferrules. Make the loop as small as possible and leave only a short tail extending out past the ferrules. The correct use of the ratchet crimper is crucial for a strong loop. Insert the ferrule into the tool, making sure it stands upright and is over to one end. The ferrule needs to be crimped twice. Squeeze the tool all the way until it releases, move it over, and crimp again. Repeat the process on the other ferrule. The ferrules should be right next to each other if possible. Now the cable is threaded through the intermediate attachments and pulled tight by hand. One cable should be installed on each straight side of the project, as it is hard to get tight cables when it is forced to turn corners. Next, the turnbuckle can be installed. Open the turnbuckle all the way, otherwise it may be difficult to get the cable as tight as necessary. Hook the turnbuckle to the corner attachment. Thread the cable through the 2 ferrules and then through the loop in the turnbuckle. Pull the cable tight by hand. Crimp the ferrules as shown earlier. And finally, cut the cable using the cable cutters. Turn the turnbuckle by hand. This pulls the hook and the eye together and tightens the cable. Use a screwdriver for extra tension if necessary. The cable should be so tight that it is hard to push it down to the building surface. Turnbuckles are available in both galvanized and stainless steel, and in 3 sizes, small, medium, and large. Use small turnbuckles for cable lengths less than 25 feet, medium for 25 to 75 feet, and large turnbuckles for lengths in excess of 75 feet. This process should be repeated on all 4 sides. The net ring tool can now be used to attach the netting to the cable system. It produces a small metal loop that wraps around the cable and the netting. Net rings are available in galvanized or stainless steel. It is advisable to start in a corner. Remember, the net tag is on the long side of the net, so you will know which direction to attach without having to unbundle the whole net. Slip the netting into the end of the tool, extend it up to the corner attachment, and squeeze the tool. Check to make sure the ring secured the net and the hardware. Now, simply move down the line attaching the net to the cable. Attach every square when using 2-inch net. It is acceptable to skip every other square on 3/4-inch net. Before heading down the length of the cable, attach a foot or two of the netting to the other cable. Back on the first cable, continue net looping. At each intermediate attachment, make sure the netting is not pulled too tightly. Once you pass this point, the net tension is locked. Continue on until the next corner attachment is reached. Secure the netting to that as well. Return to the starting end and attach the end line to the cable. This is the last square of the net, so it is not possible to make adjustments if the other end is attached first. Attach the netting until the corner attachment is reached. At this corner, it is important to attach a net line that runs perpendicular to the first line. And it's very important to decide which line to use. Pull a line towards the cable. If it is fairly hard to pull to the cable, move to the next line until it reaches the cable easily. At this point, either remaining sides can be attached as there is ample netting to trim off. We'll move across the bottom, then down the last side. Attach the last corner to the remaining corner attachment and the job is complete. The last step is to trim off the extra net. On this small display, it can all be trimmed at once, but when working on a larger job, it's advisable to trim the net before moving along to the next section. The net should not be cut too close to the knot. Leave as much of a tail as possible in case the knot slides slightly. When the job is complete, all netting lines should be straight, horizontal, and vertical. This is simple on a small opening like this one, but can be challenging on larger, complex projects. Field experience will lead to more attractive installations. In many net jobs, it is important to get behind the netting for routine maintenance, like changing light bulbs. There are two ways this can be accomplished, with zippers or with net access clips. Place the zipper up against the net, and using the net ring tool, secure it to the netting. Be sure to use one ring per square and keep them as uniform looking as possible. Attach both sides of the zipper. When the zipper is in place, open it up and cut the net. It is advisable to cut both sides of the line on 2-inch netting. When the net is cut, zip the zipper back up and it's complete. Now we'll demonstrate the use of net access clips. Clip them to the net exactly where the access panel is needed. When this is complete, cut the net twine just like the zipper. When that's done, the panel can be opened. Unclip one side, but leave the other side clipped to the net. When the panel needs to be closed, simply clip them back up. As the tool holds only 50 rings, it will need to be reloaded on a regular basis. Push in the two metal prongs at the back of the tool and lift up the black tab. Slide the whole assembly out the back of the tool. Slide in a new sleeve of rings. Then, just push the slider back into the tool, making sure the black tab locks back into its position. Squeeze the tool to test that it is functioning correctly. Use a pneumatic net ring tool for larger jobs. It runs off an air compressor, holds 100 rings, and does not require the repetitive squeezing of the manual tool. For right-handed technicians, attach the netting starting in the right corner. Use the left hand to hold the netting up against the cable, then net ring towards the left hand. It should be possible to attach 1 or 2 feet without having to move the left hand for each ring. Left-handed technicians should work in the opposite direction. The telescoping net pole features a large flat base, a telescoping option from 4 to 8 feet, and holes at the top for cables or turnbuckles. With this bracket, large nets can be installed above machinery on roofs. This also allows for workers to walk around the equipment without the netting interfering.